لما كنت أفكر عنهم أول ما تسجلت كنت خايف من اليهود عشان كنت أسمع على التلفزيون وهم بحبوناش كتير.
לא הכרתי פלסטיניות, לא התחברתי איתם, ולפעמים כאילו היה חששות כאילו של פחד מהם.
כל אחד כדור, יאללה, בואי.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10.
בנות, אנחנו משחקים עכשיו כדורגל, אבל פייר פליי. אתם מכירים מה זה פייר פליי?
אוקיי, אז חוק ראשון, מי רוצה להגיד?
כבאי.
למה חדה ינזב בנוaqף اللعبة ونساعد.
אוקיי, יש גם חוק, מי שנופל על הרצפה, הכדור בחוץ למגרש.
ולעזור ללקום.
או גם לעזור ללקום.
תעזרי לה.
ואני אוהבת מאוד לשחק כדורגל.
أنا بحب روح الجماعة والتعاون مع الفريق.
כל אחת בקבוצה חשובה, כי בלי כל אחת בקבוצה הזאת לא היה קבוצה.
The Twin Peace and Sports Schools, run and initiated by the Israeli-founded Paris Center for Peace and supported by the USAID and the American people, enables us to bring together Israeli and Palestinian youth. We are really hoping for a better future of peace and prosperity in this region.
היה משחק מאוד יפה. נהנתן, צחקתן, נתתן כיפים, עזרתן אחת לשנייה, היה משחק מקסים.
إنه إحنا أكيد بشر زيها وزي يعني أنا أول ما أروح بشلح الشنطة وبطول كتبي وبحضر دروسي وهي زي بتشلح شنطتها وبتطول كتبها وتحضر دروسها.
גיליתי שגם בנות בגיל שלי שכאלה מתנהלות כמוני בחיים שלהם. יש גם פלסטינאיות שעבוד את אותם זמרים שאני אוהבת, כמו ג'סטין ביבר.
هذه كرة القدم تعطينا مستقبل، تعطينا الأمل.
גם אם אני צעירה, אני כן עוזרת לשלום בינינו. נראה לי שגם אנשים אחרים יכולים להיות מושפעים מזה.
إن السلام نفقدهاش من مرة، نفقدهاش الأمل به.
Okay, just need my presentation, please. So before the presentation will start, I will represent myself. My name is Tamar, and I'm coming from Israel. I'm Jewish. Just arrived from the airport. And I work for the Paris Center for Peace that was founded by our 9th president of Israel, Mr. Shimon Peres. He founded the organization in 1996. In 1 year that he wasn't really involved in politics, and it was after the Oslo Occurrentes, and thinking that no matter what is happening on the political level, there is a big gap between what is happening on politics and what is happening on the civil society. And there are two societies basically that lives in this region that have no almost interaction. They don't know each other. Okay, thank you. So, yeah. So since he founded the organization, we started to focus on main three fields. basically bringing people together from both sides. It can be a cross-border program that brings Palestinians from the West Bank and Gaza to meet along with Israelis, with Jewish people, and also to run programs, joint programs inside Israel. Because in Israel we have a little bit more than 20% of Muslim citizenship, and they also don't have any interaction, so it's the same idea. So the three fields we're working on are medicine and health, more humanitarian programs. The second one is peace education, which is the field that I lead, focusing on three main fields as well: sports, arts, and technology. I will focus in this presentation on the sports programs, and business and environment. So where do we work? This is really a draft map, just to give you a sense about our area. Of course, what we do is that we bring the participants from the different areas to meet in one safe place. For many of you, I guess, that are aware of the situation that we live in an ongoing conflict. And I'm speaking on the average Palestinian child, the average Israeli kid, Jewish, that on a daily basis almost have no opportunity to meet with the other, so-called. So we took this mission to create those projects that will bring those kids together. It sounds simple, but it's far from being that simple. Especially, and I will talk about the obstacles we have all along the way. Yeah, so why do we do that? I think this is an open question, but for me it's an obvious thing, because why not? And what is the alternative, basically? Just to wait for peace to come, or to create it? And I'm not saying that we will bring the peace on the political level, but we are saying that we are building peace. We are building bridges. We are planting the seeds, focusing on the young generation that will be the future generation that hopefully will lead the change in our region. We are not naive. We are completely aware of the situation. It's important for me to emphasize that. As I said, and to give a little bit of sense about the society and both societies, it's an ongoing conflict. There are lots of tensions. There are escalation in violence from once in a while. There are lots of fears. There are lack of knowledge about the other. Most of the Israeli kids, the Jewish ones, they think about the other in a very stereotyped way. And the same goes on the Palestinian kids. I'm speaking based on researchers and evaluation reports that all our programs went through. We do questionnaires with our participants before they join the program and also when they finish the program. And you can really see the change in their perceptions. So the target group, I think now I put lots of photos because I think this will give you a little bit of sense with whom we work with. It's very diverse. It really comes from all the sectors in our region. As I said, we have Muslims, we have Jewish, we have Christians, we have Bedouins, Druze, we have women, we have men, young women, little girls, little boys. And of course, we are also not forgetting the parents, which are a very important component in our programs. So you can see it's very active, and we try to make it fun, because living and dealing with the conflict, it's a heavy topic, and most of the people don't want to deal with it, and they prefer to leave it aside. But we found a creative way of how to bring those two sides, and really not talking straightforward about the conflict, but making them aware of where they live, about their neighbors, about the other cultures that surrounds them, and to break the physical, and not physical, hopefully the physical, but the psychological barriers that most of us have within ourselves. A little bit about myself, because this is also important, because I'm an average Israeli woman, went through the whole educational system. I went to the army, I was an officer, I'm proud of a military service. But honestly, I never sit in a room with a person, with an Arab or with a Muslim or with a Palestinian, really looking at each other on an eye-to-eye level. I'm coming from a house, from a home, from a family that are not really in favor of ideas like this. And this is how I was growing up, and I believed in that. But in some point, I was starting to question why is it like this? They live, 500 meters, a kilometer, 4 kilometers from me, and I never had a discussion. Why they hate me so much? Why do I hate them? I have my reasons, of course, because the political situations challenge us. Living as a young woman, I was living in the 90s through terror attacks. I have my reasons to hate Palestinians. But at the same time, they have their reasons, because I never met, most of them, Israelis or Jewish people, or they meet them in a military context. So I started to question that, and then I decided that I want to give kids, younger kids, the opportunity to sit in a room, in a circle, on a football pitch, which is much more convenient and safe, and to start to learn, and to learn about the other side, and ask questions, and to see that we are more alike, and even if we are not alike, or even the differences, this is not something that threatens us. We can live with this. You spoke about, sister, you spoke about harmony. This is exactly what we're trying to create. So why peace education through sport? I have this sports bag, and because I see the impact of this. Sports brings people together. It's a religion, so to say, a cultural religion. It promotes values like cooperation, teamwork, mutual respect, and also dialogue. Sports unite people from different cultures and change their perception of the other. And of course, sports overcome language. As I said, one of the main barriers we have in our programs is the language barrier, because our kids in Israel speak mostly Hebrew, and on the Palestinian side, they speak Arabic. And also inside Israel, the Muslim kids speaks, most of them, only Arabic. So how can you overcome this barrier? Then you have the football language, because everybody knows how to play football. So how we do it, I try to make it as simple as it can be. We have in our department, in the sports programs, as I said, several objectives, of course. We want to instill principles of equality, diverse, and respect to both sides. Specific objectives to promote positive perception change among Israelis and Palestinians, Arab, Jewish youth by fostering values of peace and coexistence and changing attitude. And of course, at the same time, to empower them to play sports in a more self-confidence way, to develop their leadership skills, because we trust them that they will lead us to a better future. We work on two different ways. We have programs that are based on long-term change and also short-term projects. The Twin Peaks Sports School is the most veteran program that we have. It's since 2002. We touch the lives of more than 20,000 boys and girls in the region. This is a component I will talk about soon. And then we also, we started to develop the young leadership through sports program, working more with young adults. Short-term project, because we understood that we also need a component, a project that will reach out to more of the society. So those are 3 examples of workshops that we run with schools, with different NGOs, different partners that we have. So the model, basically we have 2 phases. Initial phase is, we call it building bridges, because first we need to identify a potential partner. We go to a Jewish community, then we partner there with a local partner, and we go to a Muslim community, and we found, of course, the same partner, and we twin them. After that, we are taking the staff of those communities and they are going through an intensive training, getting to know our method and everything we developed throughout the year. And of course, also bringing them together, because if the trainers, the educators will not speak, then it will not work with the younger kids. So this is a very important phase in the development of the project. And then when our program starts, it starts usually in September, when the academic year starts. Then the two communities, the twin one, are going through the same process but separately, because we understood that before we bring them together, they need to be prepared. They need to have a safe space to bring out their fears, to ask the questions that they are need to, and we need, of course, to address all those questions. So the second phase is the bilateral meetings, when we bring those communities together. What we do is we bring them into the football pitch. You can imagine a football pitch, you can imagine a team, an Israeli team comes to the pitch, and then a Palestinian team, thinking they're going to play against one another. But surprise, we have a new rule in this project. We are mixing them from the first encounter. So this is, then they become aware that in every meeting that will happen during the year, they will play in mixed teams. This sometimes sounds like a very crazy idea, and it takes time. Everything in education takes time, and you can imagine also starting from this baseline. So we create lots of mixed teams, and throughout the year, when they meet, they play together. They're going through different components in the activities. As you can see, main three things. Football games played based on a method we developed that is named Fair Play, which gives them, the two teams that are playing without referees. So the responsibility of how the game will be is on the players. So they have to communicate. They have to create a dialogue to decide about the rules of the game. They play the game, and then they also need to give a feedback on one another. Imagine a 10-year-old kid going through something like this. He learns a lot about his behavior and also about his team, how rules are important, why you need rules, if you're not obeying to the rules, how this will affect your life. And this happens in a mixed cultural surrounding. So this is about that. Then, as I said, we have the language barrier. We developed language training that happens also on the pitch to learn Hebrew and to learn Arabic. So they will be able...
Sorry, Tamar, I have to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry. If you want to finish, just like one, two phrases.
Slide.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And I think this is the last one. Yeah, I mentioned, of course, the obstacles and remedies, but this is also mentioned here. Yeah. And this is a quote from our founder, which we believe in this. In spite of our differences, we can build peace, not just negotiate peace. We can create the proper environment and not just become victims of the existing environment. So this is basically using sport as a tool for social change, and this is what we are trying to create. Thank you for listening.